Thursday again. I thought, hey, let's sit down and have a little chitty chat together because I had my consultation yesterday for a tummy tuck. He's already calling. So I did have my consultation yesterday. I'm gonna get ready for the day. I don't have anything spelled out. I do have some notes from the call that I had yesterday. When I brought it up to you guys in the last video, a lot of you were interested. And being an influencer, right, having an audience, I'm gonna use my Tartelette palette again today. It means that, you know, people look at you and I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of the success that I've had has come from people finding me to be like relatable, and everyone's gonna relate to different people, obviously, right? But that seems to be something that definitely drew people in. I was talking about, you know, ever since the beginning, I've kind of talked about the plight of, you know, being a fat woman or being a fat girl or whatever, growing up fat, whatever it was. Like, being fat was kind of a part of my whole shtick because it has affected everything in my life. It's affected my choices, it's affected my relationships, and why I do the things I do, and why, you know, I shop where I shop, and I look how I look, and whatever. Like, it is part of me. It's a big part of my personality. If someone is, let's say, thin and just naturally thin, people can be naturally thin, people can be naturally fat, all right? Don't come for me. And so I'm not saying that I am, but I'm just saying, like, that's a part of their personality too. You know, the way the world treats you, that's just part of who you become. And they treat you how they treat you because of how you look, to some extent. I had some comments when I mentioned, you know, doing this video and kind of getting a consult and stuff like that, saying that I will be losing my relatability. Don't think I haven't considered those things. Don't think that part of the reason I've never pursued this idea isn't because I realize the effect, you know, it will have on my job, essentially. This is my job. This is what I've been doing for the last 9 years. I don't know that it's gonna be so polarizing where people are gonna be like mad or happy, or, you know what I mean? But I do think people are gonna have an opinion, and depending on where you are in your journey, that's what's gonna dictate what your opinion is and how you choose to react to me and my content, basically. I've thought about it, of course, because this is having people enjoy me and want to come back and hang out and chat like this, that's a big part of my life. And so I didn't want to do something where I felt like I was ostracizing the people that kind of have come up with me, you know what I mean? Like the people that have been around, all this time. So I'm using all these big words, girl. What if they're not even being used correctly? While I've considered everything as far as like, well, how are people in my community gonna feel, right? Because it almost feels like you feel like you own part of me. A lot of you have this sense of, it's not ownership. You feel like I owe you something and I should go through life in the way that you want me to go through life. And it's not all of you, but there is a large chunk of people that tend to feel that way. And they're always like, well, I'm so disappointed that you didn't like this thing, or that you do like this thing. Like, I can't believe that. And it's like, why can you not believe it? Like, we are two whole entirely different people. And it's odd for you to think that, like, I'm not gonna be this, you know, autonomous person doing my own thing, living my own life how I see fit, just because you watch me and you know, support me. It's kind of weird. And if you're not someone who has like an audience, it might be hard to even understand. Like, if you might look at it in kind of the flippant way of like, well, just do whatever you want. Like, if people like you are gonna like you, people that don't like you are not gonna like you. It's like, sure, that's true, but there's more to it than that, I feel. And so I had to think about it, okay? Because this is a big part of my life. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that if I wanna do something cosmetically to my body, regardless of what it is, whether I wanna get Botox, or I wanna get fillers, or I wanna get a tummy tuck, or I wanna go start, I can't even think of anything else I would do. Okay, whatever it is, at the end of the day, it is my body, it is my life. And while you might leave me a comment or have a negative feeling about me, or leave and no longer, you know, consume my content or whatever, at the end of the day, obviously I'm the most important one in my life to me. So I'm gonna need to, at some point, you know, take that into account and not really fuss too much about what other people feel. But what I loved about you guys and your response on that last video is that so many of you, just like I thought, were more intrigued than you were critical of me. And I think that's because I got grown folks on this channel. There are grown folks that watch this channel. There are grown women who have already been through it. You guys we have grown together. This is different. You guys understand where I'm coming from a lot of the times. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. Because even myself at 25 years old or whatever, when I started, 24, whenever I started this channel, I would have looked at myself today and been like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing these things? I would have still been yelling about how leggings are pants and whatever I was talking about back then, you know what I mean? I was feisty. I had a lot of feist in me. And I was truly wholly myself. I was who I was at that age. You know, you evolve as you get older. So all that to say, I'm gonna do what I want. And those of you that are interested, stick around, girl, because I'm here to just be as transparent as possible. Because do you know how hard it is to find informative videos about this online? Very hard. It's all newbie people that have never really vlogged before, and you know, it's no shade to them. It's just that they don't know exactly what people are looking for and maybe the best way to deliver the content. And while I am by no means an expert in doing so, I got timestamps down below, girl. We're about to break this up. So I saw this procedure a while back, probably a couple years ago. I was like, I had looked at tummy tucks and stuff, and it always kind of, you know, it was something I always kind of wanted because I've had a hangover. I'm just gonna show you too, because like, what do I care? Okay, this is me, this is my body. You guys have seen it 10 billion times. Wonderful. This is my hoodie. My crew neck, and it's from Urban Outfitters, in case anyone's gonna ask. Every single crew neck that I own pretty much is from Urban Outfitters, and they're so comfortable. This is my stomach. You've always seen it. I have never been shy to show it. This is my stomach with my underwear, right? Okay, and then let's go to the side. I'm at probably one of my highest weights right now, so I fluctuate, but I'm pretty high right now. So this is it. It hangs over, and then obviously if I were to, you know, move my, this is what I look like, okay? I'm not shy. Now that we got that out of the way, right? So I have always had a belly that hangs over. When I was at my absolute lowest weight as an adult, I had a belly that hung over. This was before children. I have always had a belly that hung. There's not a single time in my life that I can recall not having a belly that hangs over. This is my life. This is the only thing that I know. So somewhere in my brain, I have always been like, well, I wish that it wasn't like that. So, you know, I've lost weight. There are times where I lost 80, 90 pounds. I gained it. I lost it again. I gained it, etc. I go up and down. There's never been a time in my life where I didn't have that belly. And so somewhere in the back of my mind was always this thought of like, if I could, I would totally take this off and I would have a tummy tuck done. Now, I was always under the impression that you couldn't have a tummy tuck unless you were skinny. And it wasn't even a doctor thing in my brain. It wasn't even like a medical person limiting you and saying, no, I won't perform this until you're skinny. It was a, Sarah, you don't deserve to get this done if you don't lose 150 pounds. I would have to lose a ton of weight, okay, to be in my proper, I'm supposed to be like 120 pounds. Look at me. I'm not gonna be 120 pounds. I'm not supposed to be 120 pounds. This body never said it's gonna be 120 pounds. Never in its life. And I hope that I'm never that weight, because it probably means that something is medically wrong with me. So when I discovered this plus size tummy tuck, I just happened to stumble upon it on like Instagram or something, and I saw someone's before and after, and I was like, hold on, you are 300 whole pounds and you got this done? I realized that you don't have to be thin in order to deserve having this procedure done. You don't have to be. If you want your butt done or something, you don't have to be skinny to get your butt done. Any other freaking procedure, you don't have to be skinny to deserve these things, to earn these things. And it just clicked for me. And I was like, hold the phone. I have no desire to be thin. That was some of the comments I was receiving too. All these people, you know, you want to be skinny, da da da. I have zero desire to be skinny. I have zero desire to be thin. I would like to be active enough that I know that my body's gonna be able to keep up with me for many, many, many years to come. And I wanna feel good in my day-to-day life, right? That's pretty much where I'm at. And you know, I get blood work done, I get physicals done. I wanna continue to have things be in the healthy ranges, etc. I wanna feel good, but I don't necessarily wanna be thin. I don't wanna be skinny. I don't strive for that. I don't hope and pray to God, please Lord, let's just please strip this fat suit off of me, Lord, please. I don't do that, because I don't want it, genuinely. So when I realized that this was an option, I was like, well, hold the phone, because things just changed. So once I saw it, like I said, about 2 years ago, I was like, I could never do this until I'm ready to leave YouTube, because I just felt like people were gonna be furious with me for doing it, right? But at the end of the day, my message has never been like, you're not allowed to live your life how you wanna live it. My message has never been that. My message has always just been, you know, here's the situation I've been through, here's how I dealt with it, here's what I realized, you know, the negative stuff that I was doing or saying or accepting because of my size. And I just want you guys to know that you don't have to get treated like this, and it doesn't matter if you're fat or you're this or you're that. You don't deserve to be treated like crap. That has really been my overall message ever since I started this channel. It was always live your life, do what you want, lose weight, gain weight. I don't care. Just don't let people walk all over you purely because of the way that you look, because you do not deserve less in life simply because you weigh more. And that's been my thing. I've never been like, love every roll, massage it, have a photo shoot with it. Like, that's just, you know, I'm not against the message, that message, but it's just not me. If you want to wear Spanx and hide your rolls, I don't think that that means that you hate yourself. And there's a whole community of people that do think that. They think that, you know, wearing Spanx means that you hate yourself. Trying to lose weight or working out, whatever, that means you hate yourself. Like, there's a whole community of people like that, and I just don't think most of them are here. Shout out you guys, you rock. So once I started kind of easing up on the idea that I would never have a tummy tuck because of you guys, okay, I started looking a little bit more heavily into where I would go if I was gonna do it, because it's not super common. And a lot of you are very much used to the idea that you have to have a certain BMI in order to get a tummy tuck. And I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I think most of us know that the BMI scale is kind of BS, and it's not exactly representative of what health is and what health isn't. You know, you can be outside of your BMI and you can still be a relatively healthy individual. You can be right in the money spot and still be an unhealthy individual. I think we're at a point where we all understand that the BMI scale is kind of stupid. It is what it is, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. So there are a bunch of doctors that will do plus size tummy tucks, and that's what they're called, right? Now, do they all do a good job? I'm gonna say no. No, they don't. And they have the nerve to post these photos and they're not doing a good job. And so I'm afraid of what they're not posting. So I ended up finding a doctor. The doctor that I found, I'm gonna be fully transparent with everything, y'all, because I'm not teaming up with them. I'm not doing any kind of sponsored this, that, or whatever. Like, I'm trying to pay for my stuff and I'm trying to get the full treatment. And if something goes left, I'm gonna be right here telling you how left it went. When there's a contract behind me working with people, the contracts say like, don't be, you can't be too harsh on us now, okay? It doesn't say lie, but it says like, no, you're not about to dog us out on the internet. We're gonna have to hash this stuff out in the background. Not with this, okay? Don't worry about it. I am fully covering everything. There will be no funny business. I found this doctor and his name is Dr. Repta, and he is extremely popular. If you were to type in plus size tummy tuck, he's gonna be the first person to pop up. And you can follow him on Instagram or whatever. His name is Dr. Repta and he is in Arizona. His work is incredible and he's very popular. And so sometimes when you see a popular doctor, like ones from big cities and Lowrider, stuff like that, sometimes you see a popular doctor and it's not a good thing. You don't necessarily want to go to that doctor. That doctor is like the doctor that happens before people go to the botched doctors. You know what I'm saying? I wanted a popular doctor that's popular for his work. He's not popular in name. He is not cheap. As if your doctor's popular and cheap, like very cheap, he might be popular because he's cheap. Do you know what I'm saying? So this one I realized like people really liked him a lot. And what am I doing? So now for the last, I don't even know how long, I've been looking at his before and afters, and I am still on Snapchat because he is on Snapchat and he'll do like OR videos. And so he'll show you, you know, what he's doing as he's doing it. I've watched all of his Instagram lives. They're still on his Instagram. They're really informative. And so a lot of my questions were answered already like in the live before I ever scheduled the consultation. And I wasn't gonna schedule a consultation, and then I just kept sitting on it and sitting on it and sitting on it. And finally I was like, why am I not scheduling this? Like, just schedule it, just do it, Sarah. Okay, I'm back. I had to stop and just, I had continued filming, but I had to stop and just finish my hair and makeup because I was getting way too discombobulated and all the information was getting all jumbled up. So let's take it back. I decided to schedule a consultation. The day that I decided to schedule a consultation with this doctor was the day that I had gone on, and one of these girls that had gotten the procedure done, she had mentioned that her back stopped hurting. like nearly as much. And I was like, could this be a possible positive side effect of this? I'd never considered that maybe removing some of your stomach would help. I know that, you know, women with like large chest, big boobs, you know, they go get their boobs done, they get them reduced, and suddenly their back doesn't hurt as bad or their shoulders don't hurt as bad, right? I never considered that maybe my stomach was aiding in the discomfort I feel in my low back. So when she said that and she described her back pain, and I was like, that's my back pain. Like, and what you're talking about is exactly what I go through every single day. And she's like, I don't have this pain anymore. Like, it's very, you know, it's few and far between just when it gets aggravated. And I was like, sign me up. Sign me up. So I called that day. This was in September, okay? I called in September and I said, I want to schedule a consultation or whatever. And it was the first available date for the consultation was in January. So obviously we're in January now, and I just had the consultation. So it took 3 months basically, right? October, November, December. It took almost 4 months. It cost $250. Now, I think the reason they charge for it is just because this guy is super popular, and every time we post a photo, look at the comments under the photo, everyone's gonna be asking, how much is it? Can I get this done? You have a max BMI, yada, 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 yada. I understand that like people would probably be wasting his time doing just mad consultations just to get this information. So I get paying to do a consultation, so not a problem for me. Plus, if you choose to go through with the surgery, then that $250 you spent to hold your consultation, that goes towards the cost of your surgery. So you don't lose it if you're actually gonna go through with it. Otherwise, you're basically paying for information and to talk to a doctor, which you pay to talk to doctors anyway, okay? I mean, like if you were gonna go in and like see your primary or something, you're paying for that, or your insurance is paying for it or whatever. But obviously your insurance is probably not gonna cover cosmetic surgery. I can't imagine why they would. And this is very much a cosmetic surgery. I know that there is a type of tummy tuck where they, you know, what's it called? A panniculectomy, something with a P, right? Where, you know, you get a tummy tuck and it's because you get, you know, that irritation under your stomach. Like, sure, I could sit here and be like, oh, the reason I want a tummy tuck is because, you know, I get that little, I don't get a rash, but like, you know, there's like a line basically under my belly, like a red line, and I have to clean myself, obviously. Like, it's just there. I have a fold in my skin. It's a natural thing pretty much. So, you know, and I think you can actually say like, and use that and be like, hey, I need a tummy tuck for this and get it covered by insurance. But when you get that kind of tummy tuck, and whatever, I'm not a doctor, I don't know all the differences, but they're not tightening the muscles underneath. When you get a plus size tummy tuck, right? So the thing that makes it a plus size tummy tuck is the fact that you're getting the lipo with it, but then he's also tightening the muscles underneath. So when the day finally came and he gave me a jingle, which he did, and I messed up the time zones because they're in mountain time and I'm in central time, but they don't participate in like daylight savings. So I thought it was 2 hours ahead. I was only 1 hour ahead. The whole thing. So when he called me, I was totally thrown off because it was only 1 o'clock and he was supposed to be calling me at 2 o'clock in my brain. Wrong, right? So I was like, hello? And he's like, hey, it's Dr. Repta. And I was like, oh, Dr. Repta, let me get my notes, okay? Like, I was not expecting it because I messed up the time. But anyway, obviously I recognized his voice from his many Instagram lives. I had my little list of questions that I was gonna ask him. So I'm gonna just go ahead and run through kind of the things that I wanted to know, right? So I had asked him about doing the upper inner thighs along with the tummy tuck. And before your consultation, days before, you have to send him photos. So they give you very specific like photo, you know, exactly how to take the photos and everything, and you send them in. And they didn't specify whether or not you like wear drawers and a bra. And so I was like, am I supposed to be sending naked photos or am I supposed to be sending not naked photos? So I ended up sending them with drawers and a bra. And it was like a little sports bra. And then it was like a thong. It was like the one I have on right now. I just put my stomach over it, which I don't live my life like that, but I put my stomach over it so you could see it. So just in case you end up doing this, that was totally fine, okay? You do not need to be naked in these photos. But I ended up asking him about getting my upper inner thigh lipoed, just like this much on the upper side of both, near my crotch, because with getting the tummy tuck done, my crotch is probably gonna be like, you know, they're gonna lipo that too probably, because I got like a fat cat. It's gonna look dumb as hell if you just connect that to my new stomach skin from up here and you know what I'm saying? So I think they're gonna lipo that a bit too, and it's gonna be super weird being able to like see like the opening of my crotch from the front. That's not a thing. That's not something I've ever experienced in my entire life. That's gonna be very weird, okay? So obviously before the consultation, he had already seen my body because he had the photos and everything. And he was like, I think for you, you know, we're gonna do the horizontal tummy tuck. There's no reason to go and do the vertical one, which I think when you go vertical and horizontal, like under the belly and up to the, you know, like the chest, I think they do that more so when they have a lot of loose skin to pull from the sides. and I think it's called a fleur-de-lis. So I knew I was gonna need that, like, cause you know, most of this is still fat. I do have loose skin because my weight has fluctuated. I have had children and all that. But it's, you know, it's fat. And so he's gonna have to, like, he would be lipoing like my belly up here, probably the sides, and then, you know, whatever. He's gonna lipo this area basically, and then they pull it down and then they sew you up and you're good to go. So when it came to the thighs though, he was like, you know, you have a compression garment that's gonna go around your midriff, like for the tummy tuck. He said you would also have to have a compression garment for the thighs. And so the reason that he doesn't recommend doing them at the same time is because it's hard to get a compression garment that will fit the thighs and fit the belly, you know, properly, because it's going to be one piece. So he's like, you know, you don't want to compromise on either one. And I was like, say no more, take it off the list. He said, if you want to come back and do it, I was like, I doubt it. I don't think I would, but who the hell knows? I don't know. But I was more concerned with the tummy tuck. So I was like, well, what about my arms? Because a lot of you had brought up like, well, you got these big Bertha arms. And I was like, no. And so I ended up asking about the arms because right now, let's say that my torso is like a 1X. So if I was gonna buy a jacket, I was gonna buy, you know, a 1X to go around my belly, my boobs, all that, right? If I bought a 1X, it's not gonna fit my arms. So I have to buy a 2X or 3X, something like that, to fit my arms properly. And then it's too big around my middle section. So if I make the middle section smaller, right? Let's say the middle section becomes an extra large, whatever. If my arms are still a 2X, that problem is going to be even worse, and it's already a pain in the ass. So I was like, well, what do you think about like lipoing, you know, some of the, I'm not gonna like take my sweater off, but you can see I have, you know, I got jiggly arms. They're big. And even when I lose weight, my arms are big. They are just not proportionate to my upper body, like the rest of my upper body, period. That's just what I look like, which is fine. I don't hate them. I don't look at them and hate them. I'm not like, oh, I wish I could slice them off. Like, I don't have issue with them in that way. They're just annoying when it comes to getting dressed and shopping and stuff like that. So he was like, that I think you could do and you should do, and it would be good, you know, for the overall aesthetic look and everything, whatever. So I am going to do that. Now I did see Nicole, Curves on a Budget. She'd gotten something similar done. She'd gotten like lipo done to her arms. She did it, it was like a whole different way, but you should check out her Instagram because she has a like saved story highlight and she has the whole process and she answers questions and she has the before and after. When you see her before, her arms and my arms are, I kid you not, almost identical. Even the one side being a little bit bigger, like almost identical. And her results are ridiculous. Like they look so good. And she's killing it lately though. She's been looking fire lately. That was the last little push I needed on that one. So he said that, you know, that's a good idea. So we're gonna do the tummy and the arms basically. That's kind of where we settled and that's what we talked about. When you get it done, they give you a one-night stay. They have like a surgery center or whatever. They give you a one-night stay and you'll have like a nurse there. I asked him about the drains because he does do drains. And he said that the arms would most likely get drains and the stomach would for sure get drains. And the arm drains would probably stay in for about a week. And that's just to drain all that extra fluid and everything because you're gonna be swollen for like a hell of a long time. Whatever. I've been swollen 33 years, dog. So then your stomach drains, he said, those would probably, not all of them, but you'd probably still have one or two left or whatever, up until 3 weeks out. Because I would be home by the 3 weeks, I would just take that one out myself. And I was like, take it out myself? I think not, okay? My mom will take it out for me. And she'll come up again in a second here. So I asked him how long I'd be under anesthesia as well, because I've been under anesthesia before. I had the lap band surgery done. I had the lap band surgery reversed and removed. It was a horrible surgery. I do not recommend it. Every now and again, I still have you guys asking me. 100% I do not recommend it. Most doctors don't even recommend it. It was a bad idea to get it. I was 19 when I got it. There was no one in the world that was like 10 years out with the lap band still successful when I got it. It was like that new and fresh. I just wanted something that was reversible. I've never really been keen on weight loss surgery, but I was 19. I hated myself. I hated my body. I hated my life. And I was like, if I was skinny, everything would be fine. Lost a bunch of weight, had children. And then, you know, here I am, y'all. Life did not get better because I lost weight. And I did lose weight. I got down to like 210 basically. Even at 210, I still had a belly, right? I still had a belly, it still hung over. I have never not had it ever in my whole entire life. Every single day that I can ever remember, I had a belly that hung over. So back to the anesthesia. I have been under anesthesia before. Like I said, I've had 2 surgeries in the past, and I was totally fine. I had no problem with it. Maybe I should be afraid of anesthesia, but I'm not. I know some people are really afraid of it. Overall, my family as a whole has never had reactions to it in a negative way. That obviously includes me, my siblings, my parents, whatever. My child, even my son, has had surgery where he's had to be under anesthesia before as well. I'm not really concerned about it. It feels shitty when you wake up, but you get over it, you know what I mean? So he said that the tummy usually takes about 3.5 hours, and then the arms take anywhere from like 1 to 1.5 hours. And so altogether, we're looking at about 5 hours. And then I did ask about showering and stuff, because by far, I think the worst part for me is gonna be like, my pain tolerance is pretty good. So I don't expect that there'll be no pain. There will be pain, there will be discomfort. It'll be annoying. It'll be a whole process. I can't stand up straight for the first week. It's gonna be hurting my lower back for sure. It's gonna be a whole thing, and I'm gonna have to rely on someone else or other people to help me, and that is just gonna be very challenging for me. So it's stuff like that that's gonna be the worst. Like having to rely on other people, not being able to clean myself properly by myself. I asked him like, well, how soon can I shower? Because being clean is important to me. And he's like, this is like, that's not even gonna be on your mind. But he's like, you'll probably be doing sponge baths and like bathing wipes and stuff like that for a bit. You wanna, you know, let yourself recover a little bit. Make sure that everything's on the up and up. You know what I mean? You're gonna be keeping your incisions and everything. You're gonna be keeping everything very clean anyway. So he told me basically not to worry about it. And I'm like, I'm still like mildly concerned, but I feel you, dog. I probably will have bigger fish to fry than can I get in the shower and wipe my pits? I got it. And then I asked about blood thinners, because by far the absolute worst thing that happened with my previous 2 surgeries were the heparin shots. So I had to take over 40 heparin shots. It was 3 times a day for however long. It sucked. They hurt, they bruised, and it sucked, and they were super painful. And she told me that like when she has to give people shots and stuff at the hospital, she's a nurse, okay? So it's very convenient. she's an ICU nurse. And she said when she has to give people shots, like they're fine to take this one and that one and that one, but as soon as you give them a heparin shot, they're like, ooh, and I'm like, yeah, because the liquid is fire. It is basically fire. Horrible, right? And I'm like mentally preparing myself for it. And then this man has the nerve to tell me, oh no, I don't give you heparin. And I was like, excuse me? He said, no, you're gonna be on Xarelto, girl. And it's a pill. I was like, say what now? He said, you can be on it for 3 weeks. I was like, I could be on it for 3 years, okay? If it's a pill, it's a pill. I don't care about no damn pill. So I'm hyped about that, not doing the heparin shots. Like that really just blew my mind. We continued our consultation basically, and he was like, okay, so you know, ultimately you want to get this done and you want to get that done. And I'm like, you know, how soon can I get back to working or whatever? He said, you can work out 6 to 8 weeks after. And I said, if I can work out 6 weeks after, 6 to 8 weeks after, that means I can obviously do my job probably before that, right? I imagine I'll be completely out of commission the first week. The second week, I'll probably be up and moving slightly, you know, more. And you wanna be up and moving around. You don't wanna get a blood clot. Obviously, complications are possible regardless of who you are, your age, your gender, your this, your that, your race, anything. Complications can happen, and it's up to you to follow the rules and to do what's right and to not go overboard and to keep things clean and, you know, just to make good decisions, obviously, and be careful, especially those first few weeks out. So that was how the consultation went. And he was like, after this, I'm gonna go ahead and tell my nurse, or I don't know if she's a nurse, but he's like, she's gonna go ahead and email you the quotes. So she sent over the quote. And the quote is for the tummy tuck, the arms. So it's just arm lipo, because I told him I want to do an arm lift. And he said I might have like some extra skin or whatever. He said he thought that my skin would probably retract just fine. But if I do have extra skin, or if it's like a real problem for me or whatever, that I could always come back and get an arm lift. And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna give up. Because again, I don't care how they look so much as I care how they fit into clothes. If you care how they look, maybe take that into consideration and maybe consider an arm lift instead, I guess. I don't know. I don't like them big ass scars. I don't like that. It's for the arm lipo. And then it's for like a room charge kind of thing, like for, you know, the surgical center charge. And then I forget what the last charge is. I want to say it's for like medicine or something. I don't know. It's for something like that. So the tummy tuck itself, it's not cheap. Okay. This man is known for doing this. He's like the guy to go to for this. He is very much in demand, and bing, bang, boom. The tummy tuck charge by itself is like 23 grand. The arm lipo charge by itself is like, I want to say it was like 7,500 or something like that, like 7,500. And then the other two, add it all up, it ends up being about 38 grand. It's not nothing. right? It's a lot. But if you're gonna get something done to your body, like I'm gonna go to what I have found to be the best that I could possibly afford and that I have just been researching for a really long time. I'm not advocating for doing this, obviously, and I haven't had it done, but I think that there is going to be a positive change, not just in the way that I look, but in the way that I don't even want to get into this, but just on a very personal level, there are certain behaviors that I have never been able to shake. They're not affecting me in terms of like how I'm allowing people to treat me, how I'm going through life, in terms of making sure that I have respect and stuff like that. But there are certain behaviors that I wish I didn't do, that I hate, especially when it comes to like a very, personal, like a romantic kind of level. Like I am still inherently like, it's like when you're going through life, all of us, right? Not all of us, maybe not all of us, but most of us, we're going through life. And at all moments of all the day, every single day, you're holding your stomach in, right? You might not even notice it, but you're clenching. You are never relaxed. Your body is never at ease. And my brother was like, I've never heard anybody say this before, because we were talking about it the other day, and I was like, yeah, you're never relaxed. Your stomach is never just let go. He said, no, because it feels weird to just let it go. I said, exactly. It's like this little thing that you're holding on to that moves through life. That affects me in other ways that I'm not going to get into. I look forward to like that not being a thing. You know what I mean? And again, it has nothing to do with like how I feel about myself in terms of what I expect from people, how I let people treat me. But it's just like these little things that you just don't realize, these little burdens that you carry with you. And I'm like, if I can make it go away, I'm gonna make it go away. And there's no reason that you don't deserve to do something that you want done to your own body. Like, again, I don't think that mommy makeovers should only be allowed for people that weigh under 150 pounds. Why? I had kids too. My belly got jacked up too. Why shouldn't I be able to snap back or do whatever? You know what I mean? Why is that not allowed to me just because I'm fat? Well, it is. I just gotta find the right doctor for it. Oh, one more thing. Did she book it? Yes, she did. Okay, and in order to book it, you have to put down a $2,500 deposit essentially, and that will go towards, the final cost. So I booked it. And mine is booked for a Thursday. It's not for a bit, okay? It's not for a while. I'm not gonna give you the day just because I don't like for people to know when I'm not gonna be around. It's booked for Thursday, and the pre-op is on a Monday. So you do have to be in the area for 3 days. Basically, you have to be there 3 days prior so you can do your pre-op appointment with him. He'll make sure, yada, yada, you'll go through everything, whatever. And then you'll have the surgery, and then you'll stay overnight in that surgical center. And then for me, because I'm out of town, I also have to rent a place, obviously, from when I get there through 2 weeks after the surgery. So that's another big cost to think about. Where are you gonna stay and what are you gonna do? Because obviously I don't have a home in Arizona. So I'll be there for about 2.5 weeks. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'll figure out a way to also get, obviously my mom will be with me the first week, and given that she's a nurse, like I'm feeling extremely comfortable and at ease with that, because one, she wants to be there to help me, and two, there's literally, I spit on myself, there's literally no one else that I would want to help me, especially in that first week, because she's the person I'm gonna want around. The person with like medical knowledge. You could always hire a nurse if you wanted to do that, if you didn't have someone that could help you, but otherwise I think you would be fine with just having someone who's willing to be patient and help and listen and pay attention, because when you're all drugged up and woozy, when you're done, you're gonna want someone there that's getting the information that you need. But then after that, I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, I'm really, really hoping I'm able to just like rent like an Airbnb or VRBO kind of situation that has a pool, and I can just take the kids and have like someone fly out with them, have Lewis fly out or my stepdad or somebody, have somebody fly out with them and stay there with us. Cause I don't wanna be away from my kids for 2.5 weeks. I don't want that. I really don't want that. Like, even if I can't physically get up and parent them and do the dishes and make the dinner, like I still want them around. I don't know. So you have to take that cost into account though as well if you are from out of town. So I booked it, and that $2,500, like I said, is gonna go towards it. And they do book out. They said they were booking out 6 months, but they had days before 6 months. And so I don't have to lose weight or anything beforehand. He's got no required BMI. So I might, for me, when it comes to changing my like eating and exercising and stuff like that, it'll be a Tuesday afternoon and I'll be like, boom, I'm doing it, I'm changing, period. And that's it. That's just how it happens. So I don't plan it. I just wait for my brain and my body to coordinate with each other. And then that's how I end up on these like health sort of journeys or these, you know, lifestyle, yada, yada. I lose weight, I gain weight. That's what it is. I go up and then I'm like, whoop, got a little too high. I go down and then I'm like, whoop, I feel like crap. I can't remember anything. I hate this. This is awful. And then I go, whoop, back up and round and round we go. So that's my life. And oh, one last thing. A lot of people I know are gonna be curious or ask me whatever. Obviously, yes, I've had children. Whatever, right? I've already done it. It's done. If I have no more children, I'll be fine. If I have more children, I'll be fine. A lot of people are concerned with like, well, if I get it done, what if I have kids or whatever? I know someone personally who had a tummy tuck around my age and then ended up having 2 more children. I spoke with her about it because I was like, I gotta chat. And she was like, it never goes back to what it looked like before the tummy tuck. She's like, that's, your body changes, like the way that it gains and loses weight. It's gonna change. The weight's gonna go other places. Yeah, sure, it'll go to your torso and your belly again, but it's not gonna be the same. She said, I don't regret it at all. She's like, my stomach still looks great. Sure, if she wanted to, she could go in for like a little revision, but it's never gonna be quite as dramatic as like the first time she had to do it. So having spoken with her, and I trust her judgment and stuff, like I'm cool. If I end up having kids, great. You know what? You know what I would look forward to? I would look forward to having the pregnant belly. Do you know what I had? I had this stomach, but there was a kid in it at the bottom who poked it out a little bit. I still had the hanging belly even when I had the baby. It was never that cute little, oh, look at the baby. I was like, don't fucking touch my roll, you weirdo. Like, I never had that. So even that I would welcome. I would welcome that. I would welcome these new experiences. So I'm looking forward to it. If you guys have any questions, if you have any advice, because I know hella people in this comment section have probably had tummy tucks. I want to know if you guys have any advice, if you have any questions, whatever, let me know. I doubt I'll do a follow-up because what else can I say besides opinions? Well, maybe when I'm actually there doing it and all that, I'll follow up and I'll do like, you know, especially if my mom's there, I'll be like, all right, Patty, throw that camera on, girl. The video you trying to help get me up and wipe my butt because the people want to see. I didn't fill out the thing that allows him to like post, you know, my body and stuff online or to film in the OR. I might ask that he film and give me the content if that's possible, because I don't, you know, sometimes they be leaving people's nipples in there and you see people's vaginas and like, I don't want you to see my crotch and I don't need you to know what my nipples look like. You know what I'm saying? We're not there yet, okay? This isn't OnlyFans. I just want to be in control of it. If I have the balls and once I see it, I'm like, oh, this is hella interesting, then for sure I'll totally share it with you guys. But don't expect to see my body, don't expect to see my body on his Instagram because I did not sign the disclosures for that. And I do plan on continuing to share this journey with you guys, you know, maybe not in a million videos or whatever, but I would have been a fool to think that I could do something like this to my body and not talk about it in any way. Maybe I don't have to dedicate videos to it, but like most of you are pretty familiar with what I look like. And if all of a sudden my stomach went away and I was like, what are you talking about? What stomach? You'd be like, no. And you guys are smart, okay? I like respect most of you. And I wanted to be open and transparent about this stuff, whether or not you agree with it or whatever, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But I wanted to like actually like take you along on the journey. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back soon with one talking about all the hair removal stuff. I'm just gonna give you my whole breakdown. If you have questions on any of that stuff, for sure leave them down below and I will be sure to answer them in the next video, which will probably be next week. That feels like a good time to me. Are my pits sweating? Because I feel sweaty. No? Okay. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!